Hello, my loves, and welcome to the Fuck Trauma podcast with me, Candice Tamara. And on this episode, we're going to talk about avoidance. Yay! But I want to start this episode by saying I get it. I know how painful it feels when someone pulls away. I've been in relationships where days would go by without a word being said. I'd spiral, I'd obsess, I would question myself, wondering if I did something wrong and if I was too much and if I'd been abandoned again. And if you're in that space right now, if your stomach drops when they don't reply, if your brain won't stop trying to figure out what you did wrong, I want you to know you're not crazy and you're not broken. But here is the thing. I'm not going to give you the same shitty advice you've probably heard 100 times on social media, because honestly, that advice is what's keeping you stuck in the cycle of attracting avoidance in the first place. And I know, because that was me. What I'm actually going to share with you today might sting a little. It might be a little bit triggering, but it's the truth that will finally set you free. And you are ready to hear this because you have been guided here by your higher self, who is desperate for you to break this pattern. And something in this episode is something you need to hear. So I want you to just trust that. Trust it. Even if it triggers you, even if it feels a little bit uncomfortable, I want you to trust that you are here for a reason and you are ready to hear this. It's part of your journey of freedom from this cycle. So firstly, I just want to tell you that avoidance are not the problem. And this is not about blame. It's not about blame of them. It's not about blame of you. But avoidance aren't the problem. They are a mirror. And I'm going to share with you exactly what I mean in this episode. So please listen with an open heart and an open mind, because if you get this, it will change your world for you. It will change your relationships. And no advice on the internet telling you just don't say how you really feel and they won't leave you, or don't text them and they'll miss you and they'll chase after you. That advice is not working for you, because that is not right. And I'm going to show you what really is. So in this episode, I'm going to actually share with you 7 tough truths about avoidance. And this is the ones that no one else tells you, because they'd rather keep you stuck chasing, or they don't realize this themselves. And I don't want that for you, because I know how painful that is. And not only have I broken out of that, I've also helped so many clients do that too. So let's dive in. Number 1, they didn't put away because they don't like you. Okay? They pulled away because you changed. You pulled away from yourself. Your energy changed. At the start, you were in your power. You were magnetic. You were sassy. You weren't overthinking every text. You weren't twisting yourself into knots. You were just showing up as you. And with that, there was no resistance. There was, it was reflected back to you. There was no anxiety. There was no fear. And then slowly you slipped into anxiety. You slipped into a fearful state. You started telling yourself, I don't want to scare them off. I need to be cooler, calmer, less needier, easier, breezier, whatever it is. I should hold back what I'm really feeling. I just wait for them to do what they need to do. And that right there is self-rejection. You started rejecting yourself. And it's when you betray your needs and mute your voice, hide parts of yourself, because deep down you fear that if you show up fully, you will leave. And that is because you have an abandonment wound. And when you have an abandonment wound from your childhood, you have learned as survival that my needs don't matter. So if I just play my needs down, if I just people please them, if I hide parts of myself, then it's that inner child in you that learned to do that as survival as children. And what's happening here is you're doing it again. And when you do that, you are self-abandoning. You are betraying yourself and rejecting yourself to stop them from rejecting and abandoning you. But when you do that, unfortunately, it's a mirror. It has no choice but to reflect that. They have no choice but to abandon you. And they feel that. They feel that energy. So even if you think you're not doing anything at all, you know, you're not double texting them, you're not chasing them, you're not saying how you really feel, I know your energy, your nervous system is on edge because I've been there. It is like you're literally on edge because your anxiety is building up in you, and that anxious energy and those thoughts are shifting to negative thoughts. It has no choice but to play back. Your subconscious beliefs, your assumptions are creating your experiences. They have no choice but to reflect that. They feel when your energy is no longer, I choose me, and it shifts to, please choose me. I need you to choose me for me to be okay, for me to feel secure, for me to be okay, like not to be not anxious. That is what happens. Your energy changes. So they didn't reject you. They responded to the moment you started to reject yourself. You started to self-abandon yourself. They mirrored that. They have no choice. That is what is really happening here. And trust me, you can change it. So please bear with me. Now, number 2 is that you attract avoidance because you're avoiding yourself. This one stings, but it's the truth. When you are hyper-focused on them, texting, waiting, scrolling their socials, worrying what they think, you're not actually connecting to them. You're avoiding your own discomfort. Instead of sitting with your anxiety, you outsource your soothing to them. Instead of validating yourself, you wait for their reassurance, and instead of building certainty inside of you, you're addicted to the hit of a text back. Oh my God, they've texted back, so I'm relieved now. When you do that, you are literally avoiding yourself. You're avoiding sitting with yourself. You're avoiding your internal state and shifting your internal state, and you are needing the mirror. You are needing them to give you that validation, that reassurance instead, but it will never work that way, guys. It will never work. I used to do it too, but it doesn't work. And that's what I mean when I say you want them to give you what you won't give yourself: safety, validation, and certainty. You are wanting them to make you feel safe, but you're not making yourself feel safe. You want them to give you the reassurance, the validation that they want you, that they choose you, but you don't want you. You're not choosing you. You are avoiding yourself. Do you see? They're only mirroring that back to you. So it gets mirrored because you are requiring outside of you to give you that back. So they have no choice but to withhold it. That's how it works. It's not they're not consciously doing it. It's energy that's doing it. And it feels unbearable because it's the exact part of you you're not giving to yourself. That's why no matter how much you chase after them, beg them for everything, it's that feeling inside of yourself. It's not them that needs to give it to you. That's why no matter how much they give you the reassurance, I love you, you're beautiful, all of that stuff, it never works. It's never enough. You're there anxious again because it's never about them. It's about you, and you are abandoning yourself. You're not willing to give yourself what you need them to give you. But when you shift that, that will change. You're not actually addicted to them. You don't actually want them. You don't actually need them. You're addicted to the story that you're not safe or worthy without their approval, without their validation, without them giving you what you actually need yourself. But how fucking powerful is this when you realize you actually don't need them to give it to you? You can give it to yourself. You just haven't learned how. Even as a child, everything for you was about other people's needs, pleasing other people, performing for other people, and you didn't learn to soothe yourself. And that is the difference between an anxious child and a secure child. A secure child learns their needs matter, that they don't need to get self-soothing from other people, and they can learn to soothe themselves and validate themselves and feel worthy within themselves. An anxious person learns to look outside of them for that, and that is why you're in this loop of attracting avoidance, because you have learned to avoid yourself. I did too, and I say this with so much love and passion. I'm not shouting at you, but I just want you to hear this and learn this the way that I had to learn this, because I promise you it will free you. When you realize this, it will free you. So number 3 is you expect avoidance, and life gives you what you assume. So many of you will carry around a story now like, I always attract avoidance, people don't commit to me, everyone leaves me, this story that you're telling yourself, it has no choice but to manifest. You are writing a story of your life, and that is who you're being in it. And that story doesn't live in your mind. It lives in your nervous system. It leaks out in your energy. And the mirror of life has no choice but to reflect it back to you. The universe has no choice but to give you more of what you are assuming about yourself. And this is not about fixing your actions. It's not about saying the right line or playing hard to get. That's why that shitty advice on the internet doesn't fucking work for you, because your energy behind it is still chasing them. It's still expecting, your beliefs are still wired to expect rejection and to expect abandonment and to expect avoidance. So, and your energy is still avoiding yourself. It's still obsessing about them. So that's why it's not going to work to be like, play it hard to get, because you're going to be triggered and go back to your anxious self straight away, because you haven't really shifted your assumptions. You haven't shifted your beliefs, and your nervous system is still wired to expect it. Because you don't get what you want. You don't manifest what you want. I know what you want. You manifest what you assume to be true. Your assumptions, your beliefs, your identity is creating what you get. And you are stuck in this pattern because of it. Now, number 4 is they can't choose you because you're energetically chasing them still, because you don't believe you're chosen. You might not even realize you're chasing because you're not blowing up their phone still, but energetically you are still chasing. And I'm going to show you how. You're chasing by explaining your feelings to make sure they get it. Make sure they understand you. Make sure that they don't pull away because you've explained why you need something. You are still chasing that validation by doing that. You're holding back your needs because you think they'll run. Okay. You're holding back what you really want to say because you think they'll leave you. And maybe there's a time when you actually do say it, but then you back down. You start saying, I'm really sorry, I didn't mean it, I'm so sorry, I changed what it was, because it's coming from that fear and it has no choice. That's energetically you're chasing it still. You're pretending you're fine when actually you're spiraling aside. That's another one. You might have learned to not double text or chase them in actions anymore, but you're lying to yourself. You're still chasing them. You're still needing them to give you the validation that you need to give to yourself. You're constantly checking if you're too much or too available or too anything. You're just chasing still. You're making them the center of your thoughts instead of you. You're obsessed with them. You're checking your phone constantly. You can't stop speaking about them. I get it. I get it. Your whole focus is about them. This is all chasing energy, and people feel it, not because of what you say, but because of what's behind it. Okay, it's the same thing. I know this is hard to believe, but this is exactly how it was, and exactly how it was. Avoidants aren't rejecting you. They're reacting to the energy that says, I need you to choose me so I can feel okay. This is a mirror. It's for you to realize you're in this cycle because you need to start choosing yourself. You need to change the reflection, and it will change. It will change how people show up for you. Number 5 is you stop attracting avoidance when you start choosing yourself. When you finally believe you're worthy of the whole damn bakery, you stop starving on breadcrumbs. You stop expecting it. You stop accepting it. This isn't about games. It's about your identity. It's about your self-worth. Because when you become the version of you who assumes love is safe, consistent, and already yours, your reality has to match it. They have to match it. So then they're not the pattern. You're the pattern. They're reflecting you. And when you shift that pattern, either it disappears or the person rises to meet you. But they cannot rise to meet you when you are going down, when you are just sticking with breadcrumbs or not choosing yourself or abandoning yourself. You're just going to get more of what you don't want. You're going to get less and less and less because you're over giving so that they don't run away from you. But when you're doing that, you're chasing them and you're not choosing yourself. So they have no choice but to do that. Remember, everything you chase runs away. Everything you chase runs away. This is how it's working. Then number 6, they only trigger what's already unhealed inside of you. And that's why it hurts so much. Avoidants feel like a sharp pain because they poke your deepest wounds. That fear of being left, the belief that you're unworthy, that inner child panic that says, love leaves me, please, please stay. The pain isn't caused by them, it's revealed by them, okay? That's why it feels like life or death when someone doesn't text you back. Your body is reliving an old story, not just the present moment. So the solution isn't to fix them, it's to heal what they activate in you. And boy, do I wish I realized this long before. I was in a relationship with an avoidant for 4 years. And in that time, they were mirroring to me how I had this abandonment wound. And I didn't realize it. Every time I was abandoning myself the entire time throughout this relationship, and they just kept abandoning me more. And it was activating this feeling inside of myself I talk about all the time. It's like this childlike person inside of me that was just like falling apart, was like a mess, an anxious mess. Anytime they could leave, it like they would leave, or even if we had an argument and they just wanted to go for a walk around the block, oh my God, I would stop them. I couldn't bear the idea of them leaving because I thought they were going to run away from me. I mean, it sounds so crazy, but it's like, it wasn't. It was that child inside of me that was reliving the pain of being abandoned as a child again and again and again. And because I didn't realize what was playing out here, I kept focusing on them. Oh no, it's their fault. This is what they're doing. They're doing this to me. And my nervous system was in a panic mode the whole time. I was in a trauma response state the whole time, abandoning myself, and they were just reflecting that. That was the difference. And now it's a completely opposite thing. I started filling myself up. I soothed my nervous system. I changed the whole thing. I changed my beliefs around it. And now I have a partner that never pulls away from me and is so secure and so good. And now if they want to go for it, if we have an argument, of course, arguments are totally part of a secure relationship. Like, I'm good. I don't even like turn into a panic at all now. Like if we have an argument, in fact, I am so able to be focused. I'm so able to be the regulated one. If they need to go for a walk or whatever, I'm just like, yeah, that's fine. Space is not a threat to me now. It's only because it's showing you your abandonment wound reflected back to you. And the only thing that will stop that, it is not meeting somebody else. It is doing the inner work. Because even if you think that meeting someone else will make a change, it doesn't, guys. Because what happens is you'll meet someone else and at first you'll be fine, but then your abandonment wound will get triggered and you'll continue in this cycle. Or you'll meet someone and you won't feel the spark with them, that because you're still not feeling worthy of it, and you'll sabotage it. Your anxiety will keep sabotaging it until you look in the mirror of what is showing you and those feelings inside of you, and you regulate your nervous system and you change your self-concept and you work with your inner child. This is what I teach over and over and over again. The whole method is in my signature program, Anxious, Secure and Love. All of it is there because this is the shit that fucking works. That's why my programs get results, because I use so many different ways to reprogram your mind and reprogram your body subconsciously and consciously to shift it into security. And the 7th one is they stop pulling away from you when you stop pulling away from you. This is the real full circle truth. Love doesn't change when you get them to behave differently, because you will not get them to behave differently long term, chasing after them, forcing them. Love changes when you stop abandoning yourself. Okay? It's not a surprise that, like, when you take the focus off them, maybe you've had an argument, right? And you're so focused on them and you're like, oh my God, I just need them to come back. I just want it. And then maybe a little bit of time goes past and you start doing something else and you take the focus off them and then they come back, don't they? This happened to me when I was in avoidant all the time, right? We wouldn't speak for days. And the whole time I'd be anxious. I'd be desperate for them to just come back, blah, blah, blah. And then after a few days, I guess I regulated myself. I didn't realize it then because I didn't realize any of this, but I started to regulate myself. I started to feel a bit more like, well, I don't care, I'm good anyway. I mean, it took a few days to get there, of course, but once I started to calm myself, that is when they came back in, because it's energy. I stopped pushing it away because I was desperately obsessed with it, needing them to come back. And I started to be like, no, I'm okay, it's fine, whatever. And I started to calm and soothe myself, and they reflected that back. And I'm sure that you guys have realized this. But the key here is not to go through those painful cycles of like not speaking to the person for days or months or however long it goes when that happens. The key here is to stop abandoning yourself, stop pulling away from yourself when you get attached to them. And you do that by nervous system regulation, changing your self-concept to be able to receive it and not abandon yourself. And they will not pull away from you when you do that. When you stop rejecting your needs, muting your voice, or outsourcing validation, you're no longer chasing them. You're grounded and you're choosing you. You're chosen by you, and they have no choice but to reflect that back. When that's your energy, avoidance, stop pulling away. you stop attracting avoidance, you stop experience avoidance in general, or they fade out of your life. So here's the truth: avoidance were never the real problem. The real problem is the story that you've been carrying about yourself since childhood, and love is simply reflecting that back to you. People are simply reflecting that back to you. And when you change that story of who you are, everything shifts. Where the chasing ends and the pulling away stops, because the energy has changed. You have stepped into secure energy, and you finally start experiencing the kind of secure love you've been craving all along. And this is exactly what I'm guiding you through inside my masterclass, Stop Them Pulling Away. I will show you how your subtle anxious energy patterns are actually repelling love without realizing it, of course, and how to shift them. I will give you the tools to shift them so that you can reprogram your mind, reprogram your subconscious beliefs, reprogram your nervous system, so that you can finally feel secure, wanted, and deeply chosen, and they will stop pulling away from you. This is how it works. I will leave the link in the show notes below. This is not to be missed. And if this episode hit home, please hit subscribe, follow, whatever it is. Please rate the episode if you can. It helps other people to find this work and find what is really going to help them. This is what my life passion is showing you how this is really working so that you can really make the changes that I have seen so many people make, including myself. So please share it with someone who needs to hear it. And let me know in the reviews or comments which truth landed hardest for you. Let me know if you have any questions. I know that this is difficult to understand, but please just stay open. You are ready to understand this, and it will change your life. This is the work that changes everything, and I'm here to guide you through it. These truths might feel uncomfortable, but once you get them, you'll never see love the same way again. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you again on the next episode.